Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. This is the Follow Your Passion podcast. I'm your host, Erwin Wils. I'm a mindset and business strategist and founder of Millionaire Life Strategy. In this podcast, I'm interviewing my clients and other entrepreneurs that are following their passion and make a good living out of it. When you want to know more about me or what I can do for you, check out my website, millionaireLifestrategy.com. But first, check out this episode of Follow Your Passion. Hello everybody, welcome to a new episode of Follow Your Passion. This time I have a very special guest and her name is Michelle Denner. The craft of acting is as alluring as it's mysterious, and it takes a being of great passion, insight and determination in order to succeed. But to teach acting, to inspire creative souls to successfully harvest those tools requires an even greater commitment to bring out the best in each and every actor one encounters. That passion and commitment are the hallmarks of the career of filmmaker, acting coach, and performer Michelle Denner. For decades, one of the industry's most respected and successful teachers, and now a successful director who continues to grow and expand her creative universe, hoping to set an example for her students and peers. And she's also the founding and artistic director of the Edgemark Center of the Arts. She has worked and learned from some of the giants in the field, but Michelle's own approach as an active teacher is far more eclectic. She helps her students develop a golden box of techniques drawn from multiple acting traditions and approaches. A flexible approach often has her students from A-list stars to recent arrivals return to her class for refresher courses between jobs. Such long-standing relationships with actors and other industry professionals paid off when Michelle turned to directing in 2006. When she made the romantic comedy How to Go Out on a Date in Queens with Jason Alexander. She has directed several movies since then, her latest creation being Miranda's Victim with A-list cast, as I may say so. But she's also finding time to make sure that her two sons are fully supported. I'm very hands-on as a mom, she said, admitting to offering her older son advice on filmmaking as he looks to develop a career in the field. I look forward to nurturing him and helping him tell his stories, you said, Michelle. And as long as I can find stories to tell and that I'm excited about, I'll continue to do so. It's great to be in a place where I can be so passionate about theater and film and teaching, to be creative on all fronts, and still looking forward to being there for my children. Welcome, Michelle. How are you doing?
Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being my guest today, Michelle. And your latest creation, Miranda's Victim, is it already released or is it in some sort of pre-release?
No, right now we're doing the festival circuit, and it's being shown to distributors, and we will have a plan very soon for the release.
Nice. And how are the reactions so far? I looked it up on IMDb and it has some great reviews on there.
Yes, it was very well received. Our first stop was the premiere at the Santa Barbara Film Festival. We were their opening night movie, and we had a big red carpet, and a lot of our cast came to support the movie and came to the premiere. And it was very successful. We sat in a historical theater, the Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara, with over 2,000 people in the audience watching. And to sit there in the middle of, this kind of an audience, getting audience feedback, it's incredible. It was very well received, and people wrote about it. Many people wrote about it. And, it's only the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg. There's much more to come. But the beginning of this was wonderfully, it was received very well. And I'm just very excited about what the next, months, the rest of this year is going to bring.
Yeah, I can imagine that. And it's actually great to see that you started your directing career, if I may say so, in 2006, starting a movie with Jason Alexander. And I met Jason Alexander in 2018. And the funny thing is that when you know people only from the movies and you put them on some kind of pedestal, you look up to them, until you meet them in real life and you realize they're just real human beings, hardworking individuals that are just have the talent for acting. How is it for you to work with such persons?
I mean, you're absolutely right. Everybody's a human being. Everybody is on the same level. Nobody is higher or lower. And when you collaborate with artists, you just realize that they're people, they're humans trying to tell a story, send a message, contribute. I had a great experience working with Jason Alexander. It was actually in the year 2000. Jason is a fantastic, hardworking, talented artist, and with a lot of heart and a lot of generosity.
Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed the experience with him. And I've only had good experiences working with actors. It may be because I speak their language. I know, how to connect, how to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
It may be because the people that I've worked with so far, we share a passion of the craft, a passion of acting, a passion for storytelling. And so, when I think of actors, and I think of actors that I've worked with, and I think of actors that I would like to work with, I only have lots of warmth in my heart and excitement for,
Yeah,
the creativity. Yeah.
I can imagine. And especially if we take Jason Alexander as an example again, yeah, what you said, you've met him as a person with a big heart. He's a great actor. And I think it also shows when you remember that he's playing George Costanza in Seinfeld. And that's not a very warm and hard person in the role he's playing, right? So it's wonderful to see how a person is in real life when you start meeting them and getting to know them.
And I remember one particular scene in the movie that I did with him, How to Go Out on a Date in Queens, where he had a scene with Enrique Murciano, who's a wonderful actor, who's an actor that I cast in Miranda's Victim.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason had already been on set for 12 hours, and we were going overtime, which sometimes happens. And he could have gone home and had somebody else read the lines off camera for Enrique, but he chose to stay. And I think that says a lot, about someone, especially after being on set for over 12 hours.
Yeah, I can imagine. I remember when we talked before about Miranda's Victim as well, that you got a great cast. And I remember that you said that the actors actually wanted to work with you because they liked the script. And I think it's based on a true story, isn't it?
It always starts with the script. And I think when it's a true story, that was such an important story in, American culture, with the ACLU, civil rights, justice, in a story that has never been told. I think, yes, that was definitely a component as to why this incredible cast was attracted to this, to making this movie.
So when you see a certain script of a movie, do you already have some actors in mind that you think are a perfect fit for certain roles within the script?
There's no question about it. When you first read a script, there are images that come to you, all kinds of images. And some of those images are faces of actors that you think would really, play this part in an incredible way. So yes, that does come up. You don't always get your first choice. In the case of Miranda, I'm happy to say that there were many instances where I did get my first choice, which was pretty great. Yeah.
I can imagine. What I read in the introduction, you're a very versatile person. You're a director, you have been acting yourself, but you're also teaching how to act to actors, A-list actors, but also newcomers. What part do you like the most? Do you like the directing or the teaching, the sharing of information? Is it inspiring the young people?
It's so funny that you should say that. I like all of it. I really do. I'm about to teach a master class, at the studio, and I love teaching. I love teaching. I love connecting with, a generation of actors that are like sponges and they're avid to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I love directing, because for me it's the equivalent of signing the painting. I love acting because I get to express myself and use myself emotionally. All of it has to do with storytelling, which is ultimately what I'm passionate about on every level.
Yeah, and I think that if I may speak for myself, because I give trainings as well, right? And I teach. I have an advanced master class and other things that I teach. But the most beautiful part of teaching, if you see that it's connecting with the students, and they don't not only understanding what you're teaching, but actually applying it. And I think when you're in drama school and in acting school, it's the applying of your teaching that's probably the most satisfying of the part of it, right?
Absolutely. To me, it's like when you see the light bulbs go off and people have one light bulb and another light bulb, and also process. Process can just be something that can be excruciating, necessary. And so when somebody's working on material and they struggle with it and they have to raise the bar and they have to work harder on it, and then and they hit maybe rock bottom, and then they come back and something happens and there's a click. It's that light bulb, and you work for that click, you work for that release, you
Yeah,
work for that letting go. And when that happens and you experience it with other people in the room with you, it's something that's wonderfully the communal experience with everybody, and you feel that something really magical has happened.
yeah. I can totally imagine how that works and how satisfying that is to see indeed that light bulb go off. Um, I read that you just started your third decade of teaching, which means that you started at a very, very, very young age. What was it? The first that made you decide to go into the acting teaching?
It was something people were asking me to coach them. And I was acting, I was in Los Angeles running around in my car and going to auditions and taking classes. And then I remember being on the beach, walking on the beach with my father, which is, I think, ultimately why I ended up making all my big decisions in life. And I remember thinking that I should do it, that I should commit, that I should teach. And it was one of those moments where I turned down auditions and instead accepted students that wanted to coach with me. And that led me to teach classes and, different classes, scene study and script analysis and on camera film classes. And I just, I really, and I did a lot of it. I
Hmm.
taught a lot. Uh, I teach less now. I still teach. I have like a lot of classes coming up now, but I've taught less, obviously, because if I'm preparing for a movie and I'm on set, what's really been pretty awesome is that I've been able to rally a faculty of teachers
Hmm.
that are incredibly talented and creative. And our students, we have a very good, a group of students that graduate every year with us, and they learn from all those teachers. And it's something pretty, I just, I love the fact that I'm able to do that. I met not too long ago with a good 30 of our students that are doing programs. And they were so grateful. And they said, that there was a place like that where they could learn and they could grow and they could take risks, which is
Yeah,
really important where you're a young actor, learning techniques, finding yourself, exploring, trying things, that you should have a safe environment, a place that feels nurturing, where you could take a lot of risks.
yeah. Indeed, and it's also with entrepreneurship. When you make mistakes, you learn the most. So it's about taking risk, learning from it, and growing and developing yourself. So,
Absolutely.
um, since you're a proud mom of two sons, one of them is also, I won't say following your footsteps, but very interested in the acting and film work as well. So I can imagine that you're very proud, a very proud mother when you see their achieve their goals and stuff like that. I can
Well,
also imagine that even they're not your sons, that you have a similar feeling with the actors that you've taught how to act and how to grow their expertise and their skills in their own levels.
absolutely. They're all my sons. All of them are my sons. Uh, yes, I mean, I love the fact that one of my sons is very interested in storytelling. The other one, a little less. He's more interested in sports. But I'm very close to them. And when I was on set with Miranda's Victim, they came with me and helped me, each of them in different capacities.
Hmm.
Um, they were just, very generous and very supportive. But I feel that that's right, that actors are, there's a fragility about them because it's scary. It takes a lot of courage to be an actor. And you need to find the mentors. You need to find parental figures. You need to find, uh, that helping hand to guide you. I know that I could have used more guidance when I was in my teens and in my 20s and even in my 30s. You know, Everybody looks for somebody to, just show them the way.
Hmm.
So that's important. That's why, in terms of teaching acting, if you have studied acting, the craft of acting, as I have my whole entire life, it's a responsibility and it's a duty to just pass it down, to
Yeah.
this younger generation, to these new generations that are coming up.
Yeah. It's I consider it to being a part of your legacy, that you've put so much time and effort in it in crafting your skills that it would be a waste if you can't transfer it to the next generation.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what are some memorable students you work with that you find nowadays in the movies that you think, I feel proud I've helped him or her to get to the level they are right now?
If I'm proud of them,
Hmm.
of course, of course. I mean, when I watch, and I'm not going to name drop. I hate doing that, but I've obviously taught a lot of people. And when I watch their success, it just makes me happy. Absolutely, because I know them, I know their stories, and I know that they work their butts off to get there.
Yeah, yeah, nice. In your latest movie with Miranda's Victim, one of your actors that's working it is Al Pacino. He has been around for a few years in the acting business, I would say. If you
Uh-huh.
work with a new student or you see a new student in your acting school, do you see a talent when do you recognize a talent when you see that you think that could be the next Al Pacino or the next John Travolta or something like that, or does it grow with the person?
Absolutely. I think that there's no question about it. You see talent, but if that was enough, talent is not enough. You have to have a talent for the talent, the way that Stella Adler used to say it, which means an impeccable work ethic to get you there. Because a lot of people, can have successes, but they're short-lived, and what you're looking for ultimately is longevity.
Yeah,
Um, and so, it's not only about having the talent. It's about having the willingness to go to certain places inside of yourself and outside of yourself so you can have that career.
yeah, yeah. I think I know what you mean. I met Mark Wahlberg as well a few years ago, and at that time he was. I was at a business event in Anaheim, LA, and he was there as a guest being interviewed on stage. And at that moment, he was also doing a film promotion in the UK. And what he told on stage was that he was keeping the time schedule of the UK time so that it wouldn't have a jet lag when he would return to the UK again. And I think
Mhm.
that's also showing some worth ethic, putting your priorities at the right moment and doing the things that that are needed to do in order to succeed and to stay successful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to have a certain strategy, and strategy in life gets you places. Yes.
Yeah. So your oldest son, he's also into storytelling.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
very much so. He needs to write a few hours every day, the same way he needs to drink water.
yeah. So what age is he, if I may ask? So
He's 20 years old. He goes to USC. He studies theater and film, and he just loves being there. It's just a great school, and he's growing quite a lot.
nice. Um, I know that I got into my entrepreneurial journey because of my boys. I got two adopted boys. And people sometimes ask me, were you able to help your boys when I started working as a hypnotherapist years ago? And then I said yes and no, because you can't be the therapist of your own sons. You're the father, you're the mother of your sons. So you can't be a father and therapist at the same time. How's that for you, being a mother and having this skills and knowledge that you would like to help your son and support your son, but you can't be, I can imagine you can't be the teacher of your son, even though he works in the same field? Or how do
But
you
I think
cope
that
with that?
I am a teacher to him, to them. I'm definitely a teacher to them. As a matter of fact, as I was driving my 13-year-old to school today, I had a very big philosophical conversation, all in the hopes of teaching him something. But
Mhm.
also, more importantly, they are more importantly because I, as a parent, need to keep growing. They're teachers to me. I learn from them every day. So we have an exchange of teaching and from each other. And but I mean, I don't know, when it comes to hypnotherapy, I guess, it's different, but I feel that I learn from them, they learn from me. Uh, I'm their parent. I'm not their best friend. They have best friends. It's not the role that I play.
Yeah,
But I can also, as a parent, the biggest lesson I think that they have to learn from me is this, that, it's important to pursue your dreams, because if they see me doing it, then they feel like they can do it. And
I
that, I
think,
think, is the key. And
yeah,
I want to show them that map in terms of being able to get what they want in life, and
yeah.
to do it with, grace, and to do it with empathy. Um, I've been doing interviews for high schools. Here it's very difficult to get your child into a school. And I'm only saying that because a lot of the results of the schools are coming back this Friday. And one of the schools asked me, what is it that you hope your child will continue to have as they move into their high school years? And I said, I want him to keep having empathy. I want him to keep having humanity.
Yeah.
And she said, my God, nobody said that. You're the first person that has given that answer. And I'm like, well, that's the most important thing to me. Everything else will follow suit, but that he should keep having a big heart.
Those are some wise lessons and learnings, Michelle, that you just shared with the audience. Thank you for that. So,
Thank
how do you uh, feel when you see that your sons are actually going onto that path? Yeah, and they're actually doing that because you already said that your youngest son is all into sports and is pursuing that direction, so to speak.
Yeah,
Um,
no, it's very rewarding because, you make a conscious decision sometimes to have children. I did in this case. So it's conscious, and I wanted it. And you want them to have the best life, in this lifetime that they can have for themselves. And when you watch, the success, hurts, less. It's good to have the success, but the failure is important, of course. It's important to fall on your face, and you learn almost more from that than you learn from winning. But winning feels better.
yeah,
So I would, I prefer that, but it's okay. It's fine when you don't, get it. And it just, inspires you to try something else so you could, go after it.
nice. So, like you said, Miranda's Victim. It's almost about to release. You're already in the festivals. showing it to the audience, and getting some great reviews for that. Are you already thinking about a new movie, or already busy with a new movie?
Well, yeah, I've just been offered. Well, I have a movie that I'm going to do that I've been working on, but I've been offered another fantastic movie that I'm very, very excited about. And so, yeah, I'm probably going to keep shooting, and keep developing projects and keep working with my children. And so the path feels very clear to me.
Nice. And it's great to have such a path, and to pursue, right? It reminds me, or sometimes I see entrepreneurs that are, I would say, just winging it, right? Doing what they love to do, but they don't have a strategy, another plan, and they don't look forward. They don't look ahead in time. They're just happy with what they're doing right now. But I think it's very satisfying to have a plan and to see what's the next step and how you can improve yourself. And what I love about you, and what I read about you, is that you're setting an example, not just for your sons, but also for your students, that they can achieve the goals they set for themselves, and they can grow and develop themselves as long as they put in the work, and have the intrinsic motivation to keep on going, following that path.
Yes, there's no question about it. Um, I think that you always, you hold up a mirror so people can, learn, and you learn, and, it's always an exchange.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I call myself the eternal student. I learn from my clients, I learn from my fellow entrepreneurs, I learn from you as well by interviewing you. And it's wonderful because every interaction you have with a person, you get something from it. You give something, you get something. And it's those learnings that keep us growing and developing ourselves and making our path clearer and clearer.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So I saw that you had a little pet dog when you just entered. How do you feel that dogs play a role in your life?
Um, well, dogs play a huge, huge role in this house here. We have some wonderful dogs. I did a movie in 2000, and what was it, 8, I think, called The Bandit Hound, with an Australian Shepherd that was my dog, 2 Australian Shepherds, I should say. Um, and we have a house filled with not only dogs, but lizards, turtles. We have birds at the theater. We have big animal people here.
Nice.
There's nothing like the energy of animals in your house.
Yeah, I totally agree to that. We got 2 Frisian Stabby hounds as well at home, and a cat.
Uh-huh.
And it's even just walking the dogs. It gives you a moment for yourself to get your mind at ease, have creative ideas forming in your mind where you're just minding your own business, I would say, and walking the dogs. And it's very helpful. And they're great listeners, by the way.
Oh, yes. I mean, they're human,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, Michelle, if there's one thing in your impressive career that you would uh, share with the audience, like a little tip or little piece of insight or wisdom, what would it be?
Um, to study. I think study life, study movies if you want to act or direct or write, read. I think reading, it makes a huge difference in life. It's really important to be able to pick up a book. It's the way into your soul.
That's
And I'm a big proponent of reading. I love books. I'm always frustrated that I never have time to read enough. But reading is just the most, crucial thing, I think, can just help you evolve.
nice. So, do you think there will be a time that you will put your wisdom on paper as well in a book?
Yes, I'm working on a book. It's called The Golden Box, but I keep getting sidetracked because I keep going on set and shooting movies. It's okay because every single time I pick up the chapters and I reread them, I see new things. And that is the thing that just, again, makes me crazy about process is you can see things one day and you can see something different the next day. But, we'll keep fine-tuning this book. And at one point, I will trust that it will be ready to come out.
Yeah. Or maybe set yourself the goal that it will be ready enough to come out.
Maybe that's a good advice.
So if people want to know more about you, Michelle, or follow you and get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Well, I think Google Michelle Danner, there's michelledanner.com and Danner LA and Instagram. Can DM me. So there's a lot of ways to get in touch. We have a website. I have 2 schools, the Michelle Danner Acting Studio and the Los Angeles Acting Conservatory. And if you want to see a little bit about the movies, it's All in Films is the name of the movie company.
Nice. I had a great time chatting with you, Michelle. I really loved the wisdom and the words you shared with the audience. I hope you inspired them as well to follow their passion as well, like you did. And you're setting a great example for your sons and for your students as well. I wish you all the best with your movie, Miranda's Victim, and all the movies to come. Don't forget to enjoy the process, And let's stay in touch.
Let's stay in touch. And good luck with you. It sounds like you're doing some wonderful work.
Thank you, Michelle. I hope you liked this episode. Make sure to check out the other episodes because each one is filled with interesting and inspiring stories and energy. Are you following your passion as well and make a good living out of it? Contact me and you could be my next guest. Would you like to follow your passion but are not there yet? Check out my website millionaireLifeStrategy.com and book an appointment to discover what I could do for you. Don't forget to share the podcast with your friends so that they get inspired as well.